Your loved one just got picked up by ICE and you want to locate them. Go on to locator.ice.gov. There'll be a link in my bio. You can select English, Spanish, French, Mandarin, Chinese. There's a whole bunch of languages. Then you're going to put either your loved one's A number, if you know that, which is called an alien number, and that's either an 8 or 9-digit code. Or if you don't have that, you can go ahead and put their full legal name and their date of birth and their country of origin. Then you will find out where your loved one is located. If your loved one is transferred by ICE, and that is very common actually, from one detention center to the next, ICE will not update the locator until they've moved and secured your loved one into the other detention center. Even as an immigration attorney, I'm not even allowed to ask ICE where my client is being transferred to. So it's really frustrating. Once your loved one is transferred, you can find them on the ICE locator. If your loved one is under 18, it is not going to be located on the ICE online locator. When you locate where your loved one is, there's a drop-down menu going to indicate the detention center. There's a whole bunch of them, and the phone number to contact the detention center. That's where you're going to learn information about the hours of visitation, and hopefully you'll be able to call, or your loved one will be able to call you. Of course, the next thing you want to know is if your loved one can get out of detention. It has to do with whether ICE has set a bond amount. ICE has the ability to release people on their own recognizance. Sometimes they put an ankle monitor. And if it's a bond, they usually set $1,500 as the minimum amount. Under the first Trump administration, ICE was directed not to give anyone bond, in which case the person had to seek the bond before the immigration judge. Because the immigration judges are very busy, sometimes it takes 2 or 3 or 4 weeks to get in to see the judge. And that whole time, your loved one will stay in detention. And that's when a lot of people just sign and depart the United States. But a lot of people don't. The jail is not likely going to have the bond amount. You're going to have to call ERO. So that's Enforcement and Removal Operations. On that same website, you're going to look for the ERO office, and there's a drop-down menu, and that's going to be the office that you're going to call, and you're going to speak to the ICE officer. You're going to ask if there's been a bond set for your loved one. If there is, a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident can then go down to the office, any ICE office, and post the bond. If the bond is set at $3,000, it has to be $3,000 or collateral, like a house or a car. And you can also use a bondsman. You don't have to, but you can definitely use one. Lastly, it's very important that every single person that's undocumented memorizes at least 2 or 3 phone numbers to call in the event they're taken into custody. Because oftentimes we have cell phones and we just click the button of the person's name. We can't remember their phone number. Very important to learn this. Like, share, and follow. I'm Gloria Cardenas with decades of experience working with ICE